Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of The Cure for Cowardice. Give me un momento while I get my stuff plugged in here. There we are. Today, I wanted to talk about doing the hard stuff. Now, I made a video recently about doing the boring stuff, and I feel like this deserved a video of its own. Because while the boring stuff is what will lead to success, the hard stuff is what will lead to greatness. And that is what will differentiate the ones who are willing to do the boring work from the ones that are willing to do the hard and the boring. Now, hard means a lot of things for a lot of different people. But when I think of hard work, I think discomfort. I think outside of normal expectations. I think of something that most people would not do unless they had no other choice. Now, a great example of this would be certain jobs, especially the more physical ones. It's like being a coal miner. That is hard. Doing well, you get the idea. Doing a really big essay or something like that to become a professor. Like, that's hard. And today is Sunday, and I am on my way to the restaurant for a morning shift. Now, do I want to go work at the restaurant today? Not necessarily. Do I know that if I don't go, it's going to affect me negatively in a lot of different ways? Yes, absolutely. And it reminds me of something that my buddy and I were talking about pretty recently, like within the last month or so. And he said, how do you work all the time? Because from his mind, and at the time I didn't even have the restaurant job, so it was between the main job and then the data entry that I was doing. So if I wasn't at my main job, I was doing data entry for the most part. And he was like, how do you work all the time? And my first answer was, because I enjoy what I do, which is true. But I had to think about it, and the reason that I enjoy it is not just because I enjoy the feeling of being productive. I enjoy the idea that I am not letting life pass me by, that I am taking control of my life and doing everything I can with the time and energy and resources that I am given. And I'm not doing everything I can, by the way. Everybody, however much you're doing, you can always do more. There's I would say it's probably 0.001% of people who are actually literally doing everything that they can. Think Alex Hormozi would be the first example that comes to mind. Because and even he could probably gas it and do more if he really pushed it. So actually, yeah, no, don't even count him. But anyway, the other part of this is a different conversation that I had with that same friend, and he was asking how myself and our other friend work so hard. And my first answer to that was, I think, a more accurate answer, which is, you would be amazed at what you can do when you don't have a choice. Now, obviously, there is always a choice. There is free will. And no matter what your situation is, you could always choose to take actions that are easier. Now, would those actions make your life worse and harder over the long haul? Probably. But what it comes down to is, if you do not have to convince yourself to do something, you just know that it has to be done, then it's not a question of, do I want to do this? It's a question of, how am I going to do this? And at that point, all you're doing is solving for time management, energy management, and resource management. And so, if you are trying to get something done in your life that is hard, that is difficult, that's something that most people would not even try for, because in their minds the odds of success are so low that it's easier to never try and never fail, then a framework that might be helpful to you is just setting it up in your mind where it's not a question of whether or not you want to do it. You can not want to do it all that you want, but if you set it up in your mind where you have to do it, it makes it a lot easier on you, because then you're not wasting bandwidth, you're not wasting mental energy trying to convince yourself and trying to motivate yourself. And at this point, this isn't even a matter of discipline, really. This is a matter of survival. This is the life that you want, the person that you want to be, fighting for its own survival. Now, I am a firm believer that we hold within us every ingredient that is necessary to create the person that we want to be. And by extension, I would even say that that person lives within us somewhere. And if we give the power over our lives, over our actions, our behaviors, our mindset, to that person within us, it stops being about motivation, and it stops being about discipline. It is about survival. And I don't know if you've ever been in a life or death situation, but we will do extraordinary things in order to survive. We will go to lengths that we didn't even know we had within us, that we didn't even know was possible. Now, all this to say, if you are at a point in your life where you feel like you're not happy with everything, you know you want better, but you don't know either exactly what you want or how to get there, or both, what I would do is I would start with imagining the person that you would want to be. And I would create that identity within yourself to the greatest extent and detail possible, even to the point where you hear them talking to you, where you hear that dialogue. And mind you, I'm not advocating for listening to the voices in your head. This is a little bit different. But the point is, if you can create that persona within yourself of a future version of yourself that is everything that you possibly want to be, everything that you can imagine, and don't let your current circumstances hold you back either. This doesn't have to be like you 1 year from now. Like, you can make this persona anybody that you possibly can imagine, any version of yourself that you could possibly dream up. And don't worry about the details of how to get there, because that person will figure it out. But if you just take that time and you create that persona, and then you give that persona a voice, and then you tell that persona within yourself, mind you, there's a lot of deep inner work that needs to take place for all of this, but all that it takes is what I'm laying out right now. But you create that persona within yourself, you give that persona a voice, you talk to it, and you say, I know that who I am right now cannot get to where I want to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, by you meaning the persona, I'm going to give you control over my life. You are going to handle the controls of my body. I will be a passenger, and I will trust you to take us where we want to go and where we need to go. And if you believe it, where it is our destiny to go, I believe it, then at that point, that persona, that stronger, wiser, smarter version of you will grab those controls away from you, and it will not give them back, which is good, because you do not want to be who you are if you're not happy with your life, because that's what got you there. The person you are got you where you are. So I gotta run into work in a second here, but I guess if I had to sum all of this up, the person that you can create within yourself is capable of things that you, as you are right now, are not capable of. And it's not a matter of discipline, it's not a matter of motivation. If you give controls to that person and you say, as I sit right now, if I continue on the path that I am on, the persona will die. You will not exist. So, please take control of my life and do everything that you possibly need to in order to ensure your survival. And then at that point, you don't need to do anything, because that person will take over and you will slowly what's the word? Your personas, the one you are right now compared to the one that you just created that you want to be, will reconcile. And then slowly but surely, every day you will wake up and you will recognize more of that person you want to be within yourself. And then all you have to do is, anytime that you are about to make a decision that you know is not leaning towards that persona, pause. If you have to, ping that persona, say, hey, what do I do? I'm about to make a mistake, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. And just go on autopilot. And that persona will take the fuck over and will go do the things that you actually should be doing, and will stop doing the things that you shouldn't be doing. So again, this is a hack that I discovered recently that doesn't require discipline, doesn't require motivation, doesn't really even require any deep thought aside from the creation process. It's just giving controls to the person that you want to be. So anyway, I gotta go in now. Hopefully this helps. I'll catch you all on the flip side.